everyone, my name is Michelle and this is my channel Sewing Buddy. Happy New Year! This is my first video of the 2024. So yes, I hope everyone had a nice little Christmas and New Year. And yeah, I'm here to share with you my 2024 Make 9 plans. Apologies if I sound a bit bunged up. I am recovering from a cold. Always seem to get a cold over Christmas. Every year I seem to get one. I think it's just that time when you sort of start winding down a little bit and your body relaxes, and that's when the germs start taking over. But I'm doing good, just a little bit of a sniffle. But anyway, Make 9. For anyone who doesn't know what Make 9 is, very, very quickly, it's simply 9 things you want to make for the year ahead. I've seen sewing pattern ones, fabric usage ones, knitting patterns, quilting, other crafts, loads of different types of Make 9. It's just simply 9 things you want to make. Some people love it, like myself. I really like having like sort of something to refer to throughout the year, especially if I feel quite overwhelmed with how many things I want to make. I sometimes then refer back to my Make 9 to kind of go, well, actually, is there anything on there that I really wanted to make at the beginning of the year, and almost sort of hone in on that. Whereas other people, which I totally understand, absolutely hate the idea of it, because it's like, well, why do I want to work out what I want to make, 9 patterns in January when, in 6 months time I might hate the patterns. So I totally get it. But for me, I like it. So I'm here to share with you what my plans are. So without further ado, let's insert my Make 9 grid. Now, if you'd watched my videos before, my previous Make 9 videos, you'll know that I like to treat my Make 9 in lines. So I like to do the top line, middle line and bottom line. I like to have different themes for each of those. So this year, my top line is non-garment, my middle line is big 4 patterns, and the bottom line is indie patterns. And now I'll be going through each one individually. I'll be starting off top left, going across, middle left across, bottom left across. So my first pattern, well, it's not even a pattern, it's cross stitch. And I've just inserted just a picture here of one of my cross stitch cards, because the reason I've popped this in my Make 9 is because I haven't done enough cross stitch to satisfy my cross stitch needs. Basically, last year I hardly made any cross stitch cards. Usually I'll start making my Christmas cards in like June, July, and I didn't even make any. And then in December I started trying to make one. Unfortunately I had a bit of a wrist injury, so I couldn't finish it. So I didn't actually give any cross stitch cards for Christmas last year, which actually I was really disappointed about, because I really enjoy doing cross stitch. I really enjoy giving cross stitch cards, and quite often what I'll do is I'll start making them in the summer, and by Christmas time I've got about 5 or 6 kind of cross stitches that I've kind of already done, and then I simply make them into cards in December to give to my friends and family. And I wasn't able to do that this year. So I've decided I'm going to put cross stitch on my Make 9, because then I'm hoping it might give me a bit more oomph to actually get on and do it, because then what I can do is when I do my Make 9 roundup at the end of the year, hopefully then I'll be able to share with you what I've done cross stitch wise. And I'm kind of thinking that'll just give me a little boost, because yeah, I was a bit disappointed that I didn't do as much cross stitch, and I need to find time to do cross stitch in amongst everything else. So that's why I've put that on there. So my aim is to do some cross stitch, ideally cards. If I can do 2 or 3, I'll be more than happy, because usually I'll always give a cross stitch card to my mum and my husband's mum as well, my mother-in-law. They'll always usually get a cross stitch card, and they didn't get them this year. So if I can at least do 2, then that'll be amazing, but I'd like to do more if I can. And then the next project that I'd like to do, again, it's just a picture I've done previously of quilts. So you may have seen that last year I dipped my toe into quilting. And I did that by making up some lap quilts for cat, sort of cat lap quilts for the Cats Protection charity. And I really enjoyed doing those quilts. At this moment in time, I am not interested in doing fancy quilts, learning new quilting techniques and things. I really enjoyed doing those cat blankets because I found it incredibly therapeutic making those basic sort of square quilts. I enjoyed them immensely. I found it just lovely, just being on the machine, doing the straight lines, not having to worry too much about a pattern as such. I enjoyed doing the binding of the quilts, and you know, the Cats Protection charity as well. It's, you know, giving something to a charity that I am quite passionate about. As you know, I love cats. Both of my cats and previous cats that I've owned have come from the Cats Protection charity. So yeah, it is close to my heart. So I thought I would do more of those because, again, it's just therapeutic for me, and it's giving something back. Also, I have absolutely tons of fat quarters. So I'll show you. This is one that I've actually been working on recently. You may have seen this in my Vlogmas. I had finished the quilt topper, but since then I have done my wadding and the backing, and you can probably see here how I've sort of quilted it. I just need to finish this off with the binding. But yeah, my fat quarter stash, I've got it here. Oof! I've got this box of fat quarters. Sorry, you can see some reflection from my window. And I've got a second box, which is probably about this full, so maybe about quarter full. I've got absolutely loads of fat quarters, and I love fat quarters. I find the patterns and things really pretty. I love kind of the putting together the different colours and designs. I'm not going to use that amount of fat quarters for little bags, pouches, things like that. They're not going to get used. So if I can put them all together, I can have the enjoyment of putting all of the fabrics and things together and making them, and then obviously giving them to charity. So I'd like to try and do a few more of those. Not necessarily putting a number on them. I mean, I've got this one that I've more or less finished now, and I did start that in December, but you know, I can kind of include it in my Make 9, I suppose. But I want to do more than one. If I can maybe do 3 or 4 again of those, that would be really nice. If I can do more, brilliant. But I've got a whole load of fat quarters to use up, so it'd be really nice to kind of do those every now and again. Maybe once I've done maybe 2 or 3 garment projects, I can maybe do a couple of quilts. That'd be quite nice. So yeah, that is my idea for that. And then my last non-garment sort of project that I'd like to put in my Make 9 is the Pepin tote bag, which is by Noodlehead Patterns. And the reason I've put this one in there is because I have a Guthrie and Garney Sewing Society kit of this pattern. So I've got some beautiful fabric. It's like a dark navy sort of canvas with this sort of art gallery sort of waves sort of lining. Absolutely stunning fabrics. And I've had that kit for ages and I haven't made it up because something about non-garment things, I don't know, it's just kind of like, oh, that's a bit different and a bit scary. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's a tote bag. It's not going to be difficult. I'm going to be fine doing it. So I'm putting it in my Make 9 because I'd like to make that. It's a really nice size. It's got a nice big front pocket. It's got internal little pockets and things. And I just think it would be a really nice sort of smarter tote bag. I've got lots of the sort of the calico looking sort of tote bags, which, you know, are great for when you're out shopping, but it'd be quite nice to have a smarter tote bag. And I think that one fits the bill perfectly. So that's what I'm doing for that. So that is my first line of my Make 9, which is all non-garment patterns. So next line down is my Big 4 line. I always like to do a Big 4 line because I make so many indie patterns. Sometimes the Big 4 can get a little bit forgotten about, and they have brilliant designs in the Big Four patterns. Sometimes the instructions aren't as clear as the independent ones, but you know, might as well give them a go. I've thought before, oh, I can't make them, they're too complicated. But as you may have seen from some of my sew-alongs, after a bit of head scratching and things, I usually can do them. So yeah, I like to put them in my make 9. So the first one is my New Look one, which is New Look 6449. I own this pattern. And this one is quite a simple denim dress. So we've got some jersey dresses on here as well, but this view is the one I want to make view C. I don't own a full, I say full denim, as in a plain denim dress. I was going to make a plain denim dress last year, but I decided to use a chambray sort of patterned one. But what I'd like to do is an actual sort of denim dress. So not like a really thin sort of chambray, actually use some, you know, kind of maybe 6 ounce sort of denim, maybe a bit more structured, because I thought this would be a lovely dress to wear. I love it just on its own. I would wear it with tights or leggings. I wouldn't wear it bare-legged. I don't think that's me. But also, I love this version here, where it's exactly the same. It's just that it's open and she's wearing a little jersey dress underneath. I love that look. So I think I'm going to sort of copy that. I'm going to, because I've got quite a lot of like t-shirt dresses. And I thought I could just team that up. But also, you know, I could wear it like this, just with some tights. So yeah, that is what I'm planning on doing for that. So yeah, that is my first one. Now the next one, I don't actually own this pattern yet. I do need to purchase it. I'm going to wait for some of the Big Four sales to happen before I buy it. But it is the Butterick 6051. I have been absolutely inspired by the lovely Cara, who is so mad over on Instagram and YouTube. I was watching one of her videos. She was doing like sort of a 12 outfits of Christmas, sort of like a countdown, and she showed this pattern and it looked stunning. And I was like, that is the sort of pattern that I have actually been looking for. I want a jersey maxi dress that is actually quite basic, really. You know, I don't necessarily want like, you know, fancy things in it. I just want a really nice fitted jersey maxi. And she made the wrap over version, which looked beautiful on her. I probably wouldn't do the wrap because just with my sort of shape, I find wrap dresses are very hit and miss on me. So, but they do have a version which is just a simple sort of sleeveless version, elasticated waist and skirt. Yes, I probably could draft something like that myself and I wouldn't necessarily need to buy the pattern, but I like following a pattern. I don't like self-drafting things. I find it incredibly stressful. So for me, I like a pattern. That's just who I am. I love it. So that pattern I would like to purchase at some point because, yeah, that is the version I'd like to make. I just think it's going to be incredibly wearable throughout all of summer. And even in the sort of spring, autumn time, I could layer it up, especially if I'm making the sleeveless one with a t-shirt or something underneath it. I think it'd be lovely. So that is my second one for my Big Four patterns. Now the last one is the Vogue, what is it, 9237. I swear I had this pattern in my stash. I absolutely swear it. I'm sure it came as part of a sewing magazine that I bought. Can I find this pattern? No. I've got a horrible feeling that when I was doing my massive clear out of fabrics and patterns this time last year, I've got a horrible feeling I destashed it. And this is why I sometimes don't like destashing patterns, is because I'll look at a pattern and go, oh no, I'll never make that. And then my tastes change. So I might have to purchase this one again. I will have another look round just to see, you know, it might be tucked somewhere. But if not, again, I'll wait for the Vogue sale to happen and then purchase that pattern. Or I might keep my eye out on if other people are destashing it. But yeah, the reason why I've put this one in there is because I've always wanted just to have that kind of almost like trapeze dress sort of like look, but I always just think I'm just going to look like I'm wearing a giant tent, and it's not going to look sort of fashionable on me and all of that. But this pattern I kept looking at, and I kept seeing things on Instagram. If you look at, if you go on Instagram and you use the hashtag, like for instance, this one would be like what, V9237, you can see if other people have made it and sort of tagged it in. And I just kept seeing it, and it just looked really pretty. I loved the fact that it had that trapeze look at the front, but then at the back, it has the ruffle. And I just think it just makes it look just that little bit sort of less tent-like. Like it's sort of having that ruffle at the back is very intentional. It's a definite sort of like feature. And a lot of the versions that I've seen have used different fabrics, say one for the front, one for the back, one for the ruffle. So I think it would be a great scrap buster as well. I mean, it probably does use quite a bit of fabric. But yeah, I just kind of saw it and I just thought, do you know what? I really want to try and push myself into, if I see something that I go, oh, I really like that, oh, but not on me, try it. I might wear it and go, oh, no, it's not me at all. But if I like it, I should try it. I can't just assume that something won't suit me without trying it. So yeah, I thought that's part of the fun of sewing. So that is my thoughts behind that one. So yeah, I don't know quite what I'll do with that. I don't think I'm brave enough to make it out of a structured fabric like a cotton, which I've seen, which looks beautiful. But I think maybe for me, probably I'd start off with a viscose, so it's nice and floaty, and then yeah, depending on how I get on, maybe, you know, kind of do it in a more structured fabric, because I do love that look. I just think it looks really pretty. So yeah, that is my big 4 line. And then the last line is indie. Now, my indie line does have a sort of additional theme to it, and that is really popular patterns that I haven't tried that I'm going to give a go. So, like I said with my Vogue dress, if I see something that I go, oh, that looks so nice, but no, not on me. These are the indie patterns, which I know. These 3 patterns, if you haven't heard of these 3 patterns before, then you may have been living under a rock. They are such popular patterns in the sewing community. First one being the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top. When this was released, however long ago it was, it absolutely exploded. Everyone was making this. Some people loved it, some people hated it because it has that sort of puffy sleeve. And I kept seeing it and I go, oh, it's such a beautiful top, but no, I can't get away with the big puffy sleeves. I'll look huge on, you know, my shoulders, and I've already got quite broad shoulders, and do I want to accentuate that? No. But then I just kept seeing more versions with using softer fabrics like viscose, and I was like, actually, that's quite a nice sort of, you know, floaty sort of puffy sleeve. I actually really quite like that, and I'd be willing to give that a go. I also really like the little ruffle on the front as well, and it is quite boxy, and I do quite like a reasonably boxy top, and I just thought, do you know what, give it a go. So I've got the PDF of that, and yeah, I'm going to make that up. Again, I'm going to make it in a viscose. I'm not going to do structured fabrics until I feel more comfortable with it, but I like the design. I'm going to give it a go. So yes, wish me luck on that. The next one is the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress. Again, when this came out, loads of people have made it, and it is a beautiful dress, but I didn't think I could get away with that sort of shirt style dress with the tiers. But last year I started making dresses with that tier sort of effect, and I really love that look. And do you know what I thought? I'm going to give it a go. At first I thought maybe the whole shirt with the tiers wouldn't really suit me, but I love a shirt dress and I love a tiered dress now. So put them together, got the Lyra. So yes, I have got, again, the PDF of that. And I'm going to give that a go because, yeah, I keep seeing it being made. It looks so, so pretty. And I just think it's going to be a dress that will suit my sort of, you know, we're going to work, going out, even sort of a bit more casual, I think, depending on what fabric I'm going to do. I think I'd like to make it in, again, a viscose. I do love viscose dresses. But I think because being a shirt dress, I think I might try and do maybe like a viscose twill, I think, just to make it a little bit more maybe structured on like the collar, maybe. I mean, I have seen people make it in like cotton lawns and things like that, which I think would be beautiful. But I think for me, I'm going to stick with viscose. So yes, that is my second one for that line. And then last but no means least, probably one of the most popular sewing patterns. So many people have made this pattern. It is the Zade Jumpsuit by Paper Theory. Yes, I have seen this so many times. I mean, I think over on Instagram, it's got nearly 15,000 tags. I think it's, you know, so, so popular. But again, it's been one of those things I've seen it go, oh, it looks so pretty. But for me, jumpsuits, I always struggle a bit with jumpsuits. I always find that I just feel like I'm wearing pajamas a little bit when I'm wearing sort of jumpsuits and things. And also the wrap is, again, for me, I mentioned before, wraps are incredibly hit and miss on me. But so many people have said that this pattern just suits everyone. And I'm going to give it a go. I mean, if it does gape a bit, it is because it's a jumpsuit. I could always wear like a little vest top underneath it and it probably would look okay. Or I just need to hone in the fit a little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let me know what you think. Yeah, it's just an idea that I've kind of had of just go for it. If there's something that I like the look of, try it, because, you know, if you don't try it, you don't know if it suits you. That's my plan. So that is my grid. Let me know what you think. Have you made any of those patterns? If you have, do you have any advice for me? I'd love to know. And yeah, I can't wait to sort of share with you how I get on. Are you making a Make 9 as well? Are you team Make 9, or are you like, nope, no, don't want to do it at all? I'd love to know. It's always lovely having a chat with you in the comments. So if you did like the video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see how I get on with my Make 9, then please do subscribe. And yeah, you will get notified when I bring videos out. So yeah, that is everything for today. My next video, I think I'm going to do a video of everything I've made in 2023. I did that last year of everything I made in 2022 and you guys really liked it. So I'm going to do the same again. So that's probably going to be my next video. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you very, very soon in my next video. Take care. Bye.